In Southport last night as a group of rioters descended on the town, injuring almost 40 police officers.
Police described the disorder as sickening and linked it to supporters of the English Defence League. It came shortly after thousands gathered for a vigil for victims of Monday's stabbing.
The Southport riots took place on the 30th of July 2024, following a tragic mass stabbing in Southport, Merseyside, that had happened the previous day. The attacks, which had resulted in taking the lives of 3 children, sparked widespread unrest, fueled by misinformation by popular social media presences labelling this man as a Muslim immigrant. These accusations were nothing more than speculation spread all across social media as the alleged truth, with people believing it. People believed accounts such as Andrew Tate on the matter, and this sparked even more controversy on the subject.
So an undocumented migrant decided to go into a Taylor Swift dance class today and stab 6 little girls. That's right, somebody arrived in the UK on a boat. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knows where he's from. The media is, of course, hiding the fact that this is a 17-year-old male. They don't want to highlight how ridiculous it is that we allow military-aged males, combatants, to flood our shores. I don't see any protests in the UK. I don't see anybody complaining. Nobody's outside of the school. Nobody's outside the police station. The soul of the Western man is so broken that when the invaders slaughter your daughters, you do absolutely fucking nothing.
The attacks that spread up and down the country particularly targeted Muslims by acts of violence and arson. I sat down with Abdullah, a Muslim student living in the UK, to discuss his experiences of the riots and his thoughts on how misinformation was spread and portrayed within the media.
Yeah, so just take this and introduce yourself, click it and
My name is Abdullah. I'm a South Asian Muslim, born in Spain, living in the UK.
Do you know about the Southport riots that happened?
Well, yeah, I heard it was all over the news in the UK, all around the world, and especially Muslims got targeted.
I'm going to ask you about your personal experiences as a Muslim man living in the UK. Do you feel like there's any sort of persecution, maybe it's not the right word, but do you feel that Muslims are treated differently within the UK?
Well, yes and no, it just depends on the situation, but I would say yes. I think especially in workplaces areas and colleges and etc. I think Muslims are targeted more by teachers or just managers.
Yeah.
Just by the fact of being brown or even Muslim.
So have you ever experienced anything like that you could sort of relate to tell us about?
Well, I could tell you a few, yes. Like in the summer, as you mentioned, the Southport riots.
Did you, as a young person, were you in around obviously the riots happened all up and down the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any impact, or did it impact your life in any way?
Yeah, I wouldn't say my life, but my family's, my mom's especially, because what the EDL members were doing was throwing bleach at Muslim women, taking the hijabs off, so I was more like scared of my family, what could happen to them, and I think it did affect them mentally, even could affect me mentally, because my family.
So during the time, you described it as a hard time?
Yeah.
And was it?
I'd say I suffered.
Yeah, and that you were scared to live in
the UK, yes.
Yeah. So obviously you come from Spain, at what age, sorry, did you come from Spain?
12.
Over to the UK?
Yes.
So how would you describe that experience, the difference between living in Spain and the difference between in England?
As a Muslim, you mean?
As a Muslim, yeah.
Well, I think I'll have to say it's easier as a Muslim to live here in the UK. I think Muslims are more included in a lot of things, especially, for example, now I call it this prayer room where I could just pray and etc. I don't really get racially abused, I think.
Yeah.
But in Spain, this kind of facilities, I don't think they
don't exist.
No.
So, obviously the Southport riots, the person who did it was wrongly accused of being a Muslim, and that's how all the riots started up and down the UK. Do you think people are almost waiting for something because of the way that the impact it was?
Just to target Muslims?
Almost, yeah, is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, because everyone's social media and Twitter, Instagram, TikTok is wait for the minor mistake by a Muslim, or just for one Muslim to make a mistake and target all of them.
Before we learn further about social media's dark truths, it's important that we go back to how it all started.
Facebook is
created, and Facebook
has launched an investigation into whether Facebook
did little.
Our story starts in the year 2003. Zuckerberg created FaceMash at Harvard, which was a site that matched girls on a campus against each other for other students to rank their attractiveness. In 2004, Harvard had to shut it down for privacy violations. In early 2004, he launched the Facebook, which was a site initially made for Harvard students and Harvard students alone. Co-founders Eduardo Saverin, Andrew McCollum and Chris Hughes helped build it out and promote it. It grew quickly, expanded to other Ivy League schools, then universities all across America. They then dropped the and declared the site to be, as we all know it today, Facebook. There is a rising concern in the modern day around platforms like Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter, on how social media may be impacting elections. These claims come from things such as ex-owner Elon Musk being such a large part of the Donald Trump 2024 campaign. I sat down with industry professional Archie Heasley to discuss this topic in greater detail and get an expert's opinion on the matter. How has social media changed the way political information is spread during US elections?
It's made misinformation spread faster than ever. False narratives and conspiracy theories can go viral before fact checkers can even respond. It's no longer about truth, it's about what gets the most clicks.
Do you think social media platforms are doing enough to prevent election interference?
No, in short. They say they're cracking down on fake accounts and foreign influence, but it's just surface level really. Bad actors keep finding new ways to manipulate voters while platforms focus on profits.
How has social media influenced voter behaviour in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's polarising people. Algorithms trap users in echo chambers, reinforcing their belief and polarising against the other side. It's less about informed voting now and more about emotional manipulation.
What role do you think social media plays in undermining trust in the electoral process?
Yeah, a big role for sure. I think the constant flood of disinformation, especially about election integrity, is making people question the legitimacy of results, often without evidence. It's for sure eroding the foundation of democracy.
Now, when discussing social media, there is only one topic that truly comes to mind. Addiction. Addiction is a word that's thrown around a lot when discussing social media, but let's discuss how it truly links to social media. Social media platforms are designed to trigger dopamine releases within your brain, which is the same chemical linked to addictions like gambling and drugs, creating a dangerous and compulsive cycle. A study in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that social media users have higher rates of depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. This constant comparison to others is likely to worsen your own social anxiety and body image issues. I sat down with Alicia to better understand the relationship our young adults have with social media and its potentially addictive cyclical structure.
What am I doing?
Just introduce yourself, your name, your age.
Okay. I'm Alicia, I'm 18 years old and I'm from Manchester.
What's the first app you open when you wake up and why?
I think it changes. So a couple of years ago, the first app that I'd open is probably TikTok, because I used to give myself the time, the half an hour in the morning to scroll. Then Instagram Reels, because it's funnier, but now Snapchat, because with my messages in the morning, I'll have 5, so popular. I have to just clear them out the way, do you know what I mean? And then I can't move on with my day otherwise. And I think that is an addiction that I want to get rid of. But at the minute, Snapchat, I think. Then I have my little routine. So I'll do my Snapchats, do my Instagram Reels, do my emails. Not that I have any, but I like to clear them out the way. Then I'll do Pinterest, and then as a treat, as a reward for getting through all that, I'll do TikTok. And I don't really think, maybe I should replace that reward for something a bit more better for me. But yeah, I do 5 minutes on TikTok, then when I'm on the bus, I'll do 20 minutes on TikTok.
Yeah. How would you say you feel when you lose your phone or you don't have access to it?
If I'm at home, it's a bit of a panic, like, oh, what do I do? But I find other things to do. I don't feel any type of way. If I'm out, it's a bit scarier. It kind of depends, like, on the time of day, like, am I on my own? Is it at night and I'm on my own? But let's just say I just lose my phone. I have all my friends and everyone, my family on Find Friends. If they see that I'm lost, then I stress, they stress, the whole world is stressed, like with the search team. So yeah, I do feel very, very panicked. Just because it doesn't impact me, and probably not even because of phone addiction I get panicked, because like it is like a safety device. Like I've got it on me now, like I just have to like have it with me all the time.
Do you ever feel like it's sort of like a third limb?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's like, I mean, I think with everyone, I've recently stopped sleeping next to my phone because I've seen like, you know, like basically someone charged their phone next to their bed and like not the radiation, the something of it was like really bad for our brains. So I've stopped doing that, but definitely it is always with me. Like even if I'm walking around and I put my phone in my bag, everyone in the class probably knows I'm always ringing it on my watch, which is always on my wrist, because I need to know where my phone is even if it's in my bag.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can you remember a time you opened a social media app and ended up scrolling through it for like hours and hours on end?
Yeah, TikTok, obviously. Instagram was maybe the most surprising one, because Instagram Reels are really, really funny, and I can do that for so long. And I've said this, but I think it's not even about the content anymore, it's literally the motion. Like I can be sat and my hand is just going like this. Like this morning, I was just sat down and I'm scrolling, but I'm not, I think I was watching TV here and I'm just scrolling, like it's just the motion, which is a bit scary to be honest.
Do you think you're addicted to it?
Yeah, in like the sense that it's like the physical thing, I'm addicted to it and everything on it. I think it is quite damaging sometimes, to be fair.
I think that's why it's so hard to stop scrolling.
Yeah, it's weird though, because it's like you'd think that the content would be so addictive, and it is, like, don't get me wrong, but because I've been doing it in routine since year 7, which is what, like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like literally every day. That's really scary. But yeah, just scrolling, that really scares me.
How would you feel if I just like took your phone now and said you've got to delete all social media for like a week?
A week would be hard, but it would be like a weight off my shoulders, because my little routine, my social media routine in the morning, it's like, why do I have a social media routine? Like, why am I putting pressure on myself to reply to people? Like, if they're so important to me, I reply to them like in my own time. So I would feel much lighter. I'd probably get on with more things, stop procrastinating, like actually live my life, because that's actually what I want to be doing at this age. And I think sometimes, the reason I'd feel lighter is because sometimes I put pressure on myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm 18, I've got to like stay social with everyone and this and that, but yeah.
Coping with social media addiction involves setting boundaries, increasing self-awareness, and finding healthier alternatives. When creating this documentary and speaking to many experts, they all suggest by starting monitoring your screen time and identifying triggers that lead to excessive use, such as boredom, stress, or loneliness. Psychologist Dr. Anna Lembeck says she recommends creating dopamine fasts by scheduling regular breaks from social media to reset the brain's reward system. Digital wellness experts also advise turning off non-essential notifications, removing addictive apps from your phone, or using apps like Freedom or Moment to limit access. Building offline routines such as exercising, reading, or socializing in person can really help redirect focus. Lastly, practicing mindfulness and seeking support from friends, family, or a therapist in some cases can make the journey more manageable and sustainable.